Hi, this is A New Nigeria with Wale Oluwade. This is your current affairs program where we critically examine the strategic issues bedeviling Nigeria's developmental aspirations and boldly offer practical suggestions on building the Nigeria of our collective desires. Today's episode promises to be engaging and exciting. My guest is already here to assist me in doing justice and also give depth and clarity to the topic of our discourse. As always, it's going to be evidence-driven, honest, bold, and a no-holds-barred conversation. So get ready as we begin in earnest. And now, let's get on with it. The topic of our discourse today is the imperatives for an ethical revolution. Nation building isn't rocket science. So why has Nigeria's developmental aspirations since independence been a repeated cycle of failures upon failure? Each step forward is countered by 2 or 3 steps backward. What role or influence, if any, has our insane desire and lust for money played in our crisis of endemic underdevelopment? And let me be clear, no nation can prosper when everything we do, either in public or private life, boils down to money. A few examples of our social unraveling are important for proper context. 1, nobody hardly ever gets anything on merit anymore in Nigeria. You've got to pay. You pay for public jobs. Public jobs are for sale. Public examinations are for sale. Every interaction with a government agency at any level of the government architecture is oiled and influenced by money. And it's not different in the private, or even more tragically, the religious, bodies. Also, our recruitment processes is substantially influenced by money. For instance, look at the cost of purchase of political party nomination forms, money given to delegates, etc. And then, thirdly, the sheer barbarity and viciousness of violent crimes perpetrated by teenagers and the youth, banditry, ritual killings, armed robbery, terrorism, and kidnappings, etc., due to the quest to make money. And then finally, the obscene corruption of public officials who steal and plunder government funds for personal use. So, can a nation make progress and take the quantum leap forward without a moral anchor? This is what we're examining today with my guest. We'll take a short break now and return shortly. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. My guest is here, Mazi Samuel Ohunabunwa. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, Wale.
And you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
A brief introduction. Mazi Samuel Ohunabunwa was the former CEO, chairman of Pfizer, former CEO, chairman of NIMEF. He was a former president of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group. In this current political experiment with the PDP, he is, a presidential aspirant, and he's been a boardroom guru. And that is the reason why he's on this program, to share some of his experiences in the private sector and public sector, particularly as it relates to the issue of culture, as it influences growth and development of human endeavor. Once again, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Wale. It's a pleasure to be here.
Same here, sir.
Yeah.
Same here. I saw you on the political trail, campaigning and all of that. And then I also saw you at the primaries. You gave your speech on Saturday. And then on Monday, I saw you on the TV channel where you were doing a sort of analysis of how the primaries went and your experiences. And you said something that really struck me, about the monetization of the political process. You attributed it to the culture prevailing in our political system. That really caught my attention. Meanwhile, I was planning this particular topic. When I saw that, I said, wow, that's my man. I need to get him. So I must thank you again for coming. Tell us what you experienced briefly, because I have a number of questions for you.
Well, first and foremost, the New Nigeria concept is, I run a group called the New Nigeria Group.
Really?
That's the platform on which I came to the politics. We had a vision for a new Nigeria since 2019 to enthrone a new Nigeria that is globally competitive and that will work for everybody in the country. So when I see the identity of New Nigeria and then talking about the moral compass, you just your intro, I was just thanking God that there are people who share my view. The reason I got into this competitive politics is just because of this. Because all my life I've been in advocacy. I've thought that the way to solve Nigeria's problem is to speak about it, to advocate, to talk to political leaders, office holders, how they should conduct, how they should show example, how they should lead so that our country can emerge. Because I've been frustrated that a country that is always said we're potentially great country, we have remained potentially great. We never became great. We've been developing since 60. We are still developing. We can't become developed when countries at our own level have already developed. So these were the things that brought me into politics, because it's clear to me that not preaching will save it, not sermonizing, not wishing, not canvassing. Somebody who has the right moral code, who has the right spiritual upliftment, will get to power and say, enough. This country cannot continue this way. Righteousness exalts a nation.
Absolutely.
Sin is a reproach to any people. Whatever you sow, you will reap. We have been sowing in poverty. We have been sowing to the flesh, and we are reaping corruption. It's as simple as that, and there is no exit. So it's been tough. In the private sector, it was, but the thing about the private sector is that sometimes you have greater control, especially at the level at which we climbed, you know, becoming CEOs and chairman of companies. You can dictate the moral code within your given organization, where you lead. And I have found that the truth is, in one of my books, Nigeria, Need for the Evolution of a New Nation, in 2010, that's when I talked about the new Nigeria. Nigeria, Need for the Evolution of a New Nigeria. In 2010, I'll give you that book. That was where I began to speak that there, in one of the chapters, I said, the followership that deserves the leadership. Where I said every nation has the leadership it deserves. But the question is, what some guy asked me to come and pray with him and his wife in one of the fellowships I belong. So after praying, he says he would like me to pray. I mean, after speaking to the group, he asked me to pray for him and his wife. So I got up, I said, okay. He knelt down. I said, before we pray, please tell me what exactly are we praying. He said, well, he works in one public company and he helps people. And the people say they will come back to see him. They don't come back. So I should pray that the people will come back. I told him, stand up. You've crossed the line. The Bible says the mad thoughts of sleeping with a woman, you've already committed adultery. The mad thought of expecting, what you are not going to do is you're having a kickback, not a kick front. Those you think are corrupt, ask ahead. You are asking after. I said, no, you have missed the way. You are as corrupt as any other person. When I was in the shop here, I was telling you, we knew that there were things you could not escape in Nigeria. So we decided that we were going to tie our hands. We said, in this business, in this institution, we're not going to award contracts. Because it is clear that if you're in the contract awarding system in Nigeria, it will be miraculous for you to escape. We say we're not going to have an accounting office within a shop because we know that that's where too many things are cooked. We say we're not going to have a commercial relationship with banks. We'll deal with central bank because also when you have relationship with the banks, they will come and make suggestions to you. A friend of mine looked at when I was CEO of NIMED after the transition. So after a while, he says, Sam, your profitability is low. It's lower than the average in the industry. I said, yes, I'm dealing with costs. My costs are high. He said I should send him my cost analysis and my accounts. I sent to him. He did. He said, I know where your problem is. You're paying too much cost. One year you paid almost 600 million on import duty. Why? Why are you paying 600 million? I say the size of it. He said you could at least reduce this by 3. If you say 300 million and give it to your shareholders, they'll be happy. I say, how am I going to do it? Say we send somebody. Send somebody who analyzed and said, you know what? You must reduce your import duty. I said, okay. He said he has a specialist. He sent a specialist. So the specialist came and looked, say, what do I do? He said, what you need to do is, if you're ordering 1,000 kilograms, say it is 100 kilograms. If you're ordering 1,000 liters, say it's 100 liters. I say, but when the goods come, how would I clear them from the port? He said, that is his duty. You know, I said, no, I can't do that. I'm a Christian, and I don't want to offend my God and offend the country at my age and time. So he left me and reported back to the guy who sent him. That one called me, say, Sam, I heard that you rejected the advice. I said, he said, this is your church matter. You are taking it too much. This is what everybody else does. Nobody pays the right custom. Why are you doing this, Sam? You're mumu too much. Now, listen, this 100, 300, 600, you also will pay tax. You also pay VAT. You all kinds of taxes you pay. And this custom duty you also pay. Now, let me ask you something. That was it. This government you are paying, what are they doing with the money? You pay to them, they steal it all. You don't have road. You are building your road. You're providing your security. You're providing your electricity. You're providing water. Why are you doing this? I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, mine is to do my bit. Let God judge the others. Let me finish. So immediately he now said, well, there's nothing I can do for you. And he left me. But let me tell you something. 4 years or 5 years after this, a new custom leader came to that zone and was doing back reviews because they were now giving targets. So looking for how to make money. He found that that guy's company had underpaid taxes by 3 billion.
Jesus.
They closed the factory. And put a demand on him. The factory was closed for 9 months. I don't know what he did, but the factory was open. So I used to tell people, yes, it's painful. You know, sometimes when everybody else is cheating and you are not, you might look like you're not a good manager. You might look like you're not a smart person. But
in the long run, it pays off.
Yeah.
Brilliant, sir. Brilliant, sir. Let me bring you back to politics.
Yeah.
Your experience, I mean, if you can do this in a minute, because like I said, I have a number of questions.
Yeah.
You know, the story out there is that it was purely money that determined, but specifically PDP.
Yeah.
That was purely money that determined the winner.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, sir?
No, it's quite correct because I had always known that. I've been here for a long time. I thought there were 3 things that can cause you win an election. One is your ideology, what you're bringing on. One is the impact of influencers. Third is the impact of money. So I came thinking I could bridge that with using ideology. Sorry,
Mazi. Let me add one.
Yeah.
Electability or winnability of the individual himself. Is that not a factor, a critical factor?
It is.
Because if you ask me, sir, if you ask me, in my own view, especially with the 2 main, if I may use that word, no offenses to you, sir, because I mean, at the end of the day, in my own opinion, I think what tipped the scales in favor of the eventual winner was electability.
Well,
because, sir, the other guy had more than enough money to buy everybody. In fact, let me be honest with you, and let me be also very open and I mean accountable to you. I'm supporting the eventual winner. I'm a supporter.
Sure.
But my greatest fear, as I observed events, was that the main challenger let him not emerge. And you know why, sir? Because then this narrative of the dominant influence of money would have been correct. In my own opinion, that wasn't so, because what tipped the scales in the eventual winners, you know, side was winnability or electability. Am I wrong, sir, in that conclusion?
Well, it's a mixture of things. There's no straight line to it. It's a mixture of things and depends on where you're coming from. Yes, many people consider that. But I said when I was getting into, I thought the thing that can make people look at you is your ideology, where you're coming from, what you're offering. Then the influence of money. People, you know, influence of people around, and then money. But I found that these two, the ideology and what you're coming, it's of little or no consequence. So the dominance is influencers and money. That's the truth. You could see that if they are even taking your own ideology, if there was not that political maneuver by what happened, you will know that it will have tilted. So you will have seen that the influence of money from your own perspective was strong. It was just some group of people who I didn't think did it for altruistic reasons. They did it for their group reason, for the including electability, because everybody has his own objective. That's what resulted in what happened. So the point is that, as I've said, is that it is not something that is only attainable in PDP. Watch out what's going to happen in APC. even the smaller parties, money is the influencer.
In fact,
money is the primary influencer.
This point you raised, that's where I'm actually going to concerning the
next.
Beyond even the smaller parties or APC, even the electorate, sir. Mazi, can you vote? Can you go to seek votes now in Nigeria without the electorate themselves telling you to your face that without money they're not going to vote for you?
So that's what I was telling people who are talking about why people this. Or
somebody leaves this place, goes to this place.
It's the same story. In 2019, the same thing that happened here happened. The same winner. I mean, the highest bidder getting it. I mean, if you're a highest bidder and you're also competent, you are good, that's fine. But we are not measuring people just on that. The truth of the matter is that if we had the kind of resources they had, maybe the difference will not be as exaggerated. So that shows the over. I mean, even people from my own region
area,
so you can see the influence of extraneous, not just your competence. Because these people, you met them and they told you, in fact, they were sincere to me. You're a good man. You have a good program. CV. Nobody has spoken to us. You have not only a CV, you have a profile,
manifesto.
You have a manifesto. You speak well. We look at what you have done in the private sector, in NGO sector. We know this is applicable. But you know Mazi, you have to go and this thing, these are politicians. So I always knew, because I've always been around politics since 1999.
Wow. We'll take this short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue with our conversation. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Mazi, let's conclude now. What's your recommendation? How do we fix this moral decadence in the society?
I have come to the conclusion that it will happen by two ways. One is by revolution.
What kind of revolution, sir?
Revolution that some crazy guy, crazy group who is so idealistic, appears from somehow and is able to mobilize or motivate or find his way to a point where he can lead the change, the moral rearmament, the recreating of our values. That's one.
Sorry, sir. The challenge with that, this strongman syndrome management, we call
it's not strongman syndrome.
Okay.
I'm saying an idealist.
An idealist. I understand, sir, but you see, let's assume that as a president we get somebody like that. But then there are 36 state governors.
Let me tell you, sir. Let me tell you very clearly. Very, 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 very clearly. I've been in organizations. The thing is that if you have, because that I say two things, either an idealist emerges by some revolution, or we get a leader through where we have gotten now. For example, Abubakar Atiku, or whoever emerges, one of them decides, goes back to his closet and tells himself and his group and say, our country can't continue this way.
Enough is enough.
No, we can't continue this way. That's what Lee Kuan Yew did. He got his team and said, look, we've dwelt in this corruption enough.
The word I was looking for is the team you mentioned.
The team. Let's get
an elite consensus.
Let us change it. That's my motivation. Let us change this system.
Absolutely.
Because we cannot continue to tell the story and behave this way. Everybody knows how much they have spent. Is that the right way to come to office? That kind of money is obscene. That money can be invested in some more productive than just being using it the way to persuade people. Some people say bribe people to vote for you. I don't think that's the right way to do it. So I am praying. That's my wish, that anybody that emerges should please. That's my plea. Just take a decision. Call your team and say, look, this country can't continue. And I keep using Yar'Adua as an example, what he did when he came to power in 2007. He told Nigeria, this system is not good. The system that brought me is not the best system. We must do something.
The word they used was fundamentally flawed.
Flawed. That is where to start, because until you
admission of the truth,
until you admit the truth, there cannot be any forgiveness or redemption.
Thank you so much, sir.
That is what I'm praying. That's my prayer. There's just no other way. It's just ruling elite, especially for somebody like Turaki, who has been in this, has experience, he's seen it all. He should be this change agent that God will use to liberate Nigeria from money politics, from corruption, from the perverted value system that has been inoculated in our unborn children and the youth. Everybody is looking the same way. How do we quickly make money? What mechanism? And people think politics is the shortest and easiest way. That has to change. If I have anything, if I have opportunity, that's what I will keep preaching to anybody that it cannot bad. But if they keep seeing obscenity, one man having 20 cars, when the minister has 50 houses, when this one has, you cannot preach to them. We must show it. You know, self-emulation. Treat what Lee Kuan Yew did, what Nelson Mandela did, such people that showed by the conviction, personal conviction and personal example.
Moral example.
Exactly. That what changes the system. Not
Thank you so much. You have to go, sir.
Thank you.
You so much, Mazi.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate your coming.
My pleasure.
And it's been wonderful. Your fascinating ideas. And like you said, and I agree with you, it's enough of us, morally anchored individuals. We need enough of us in the system to change the system from inside.
That's it. No way.
And I also love your comments on that interview that I saw you, that you are not leaving PDP because we need to stay there.
No,
we have to join them there, beat them at that game.
We must put a hold. Absolutely. Put our feet down.
Absolutely.
And even in our little places.
You are going to be a regular fixture on this program.
Yeah, because I identify this is really my vision. A new Nigeria that will be globally competitive and that will work for all of us.
Absolutely.
Keep it
Thanks
up.
for coming, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that's the end of the interview segment. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, I'll come with my closing statements. Please stay with us. And here are my closing statements. So, why do we need an ethical revolution? The biggest problem Nigeria has is a people crisis. Why do we have a people problem? We have a pervasive moral crisis in Nigeria, a pandemic of a near total debasement of our value system. A key evidence of this tragic state is our attitude as a nation to money and material acquisition. As it is currently, hardly can one find a Nigerian who isn't intensely fixated on the insane and inordinate lust for money. We have entrenched, as it were, a perverse culture of money as God over everything in our corporate and personal lives. Now, the best strategies deployed in an environment of a negative cultural practice will fail spectacularly. What then is culture? This is the overarching belief systems, values, and mindsets of a group of people. Culture is about ethics and morality. Culture is the strategic differentiator to the success or failure of any human endeavor. With a negative culture, a successful enterprise or great nation will soon deteriorate and die. And a struggling one will never grow and thrive. Pardon me, I know this is not an MBA class, but I needed to provide this brief background. Our A-list music stars, comedians, and actors have since made this ugly phenomenon a recurring feature of their art. And so I said all of this to say to all of us, quit your selective abhorrence to the monetization of our politics. We all, in one way or the other, are guilty of the obscene deification of money in our national life. Now, what then are my recommendations to solving this problem? Number one, truth. Truth will set us free. We need to admit that we all are guilty, that we're all guilty, one way or the other, of this evil, that the politicians are from among us and are merely a minuscule of what goes on unnoticed daily all over Nigeria. Now, secondly, for this evil culture to abate, there must be a change of attitude, beliefs, and mindsets. We must evolve a new ethos, a return to our old values, values of diligence, values of moral rectitude, values of a strong reproof of crimes and deviant behaviors, a strong family-oriented society, a society with a total abhorrence of crimes and all its tendencies. Now, thirdly, education. We need a public enlightenment system. That's what I am doing now, and that's what we all should be doing with whatever opportunity we have to speak in the public space. Now, there's an agency called the National Orientation Agency. Whatever happened to it, I don't know. Now, fourthly, leadership by example. We all need to lead by example. In every sphere of our influence, we must insist that the right and ethical things be done. Leadership isn't only by those in public offices. Many of us are leaders in our own rights. Be a good example, And lastly, it is about critical mass. A sufficient number of morally anchored individuals having the power to effect change that we all desire. If we begin this way, we might still salvage this Nigerian condition. Now, this topic is a continuing topic. Please keep a date with us. I believe in a new Nigeria, and it is possible. And these are my closing thoughts. Now, that's the program for today. Remember to follow me on my different social media handles. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can watch this video at your convenience. Drop your comments also, and I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.